Hello, hello, and welcome along to episode 12 of Mercenary Tales. Today's episode is called Ancient and Undisturbed. Can anybody tell me what happened last episode? If it helps, the session was called Out of the Mists. Go on.
It cannot be me. I'm not.
You don't have to wave, just talk.
Yeah, so I already did this before anybody joined for Miller, so yeah. So bada boom, bada bing, we got out of the sanctuary. We decided we were gonna start making some ground, start covering it, start making our way over to the dead corpse grave. And as we're making our way, Hugo trips, he falls into a sinkhole.
What is this spoken word poetry that you're doing?
He's doing slam.
And he glides down like a magnificent man on the way down because it wasn't that like desperate of a sinkhole. But then boom, sword on a corpse, meant for me, Kensidin. And it's beautiful. It's called Deliverance, and it glows with fire when I touch it. And then some ghouls came out, and there's ghasts. Sorry, excuse me. And Kenson and Belgren, we might have gotten a little beat up, but we win. So we're making our way over, and we make it up to, I believe it's a mountain. And as we're going towards the mountain, we see 4 dwarves on horses coming down. The grandson, the son of the grandson, the son of the grandson, father.
Wait.
And then brother.
Sort of. We'll give it to you.
Okay.
Grandpa,
Man, brother,
grandpa's
man,
brother,
son, son.
Yeah. And they go, we just killed a full thing of orcs, which was really cool. And Jax was like, what if we take their other ears? But I don't think that would work. But after that, we decided, yeah, let's skirt around the mountain and not over the mountain because that seems stupid. So we made our way around. And after a little dicey dice roll, a bunch of goblins decided to attack us. And Kensidin ran in front of everybody and thought he was the big guy. And then he got turned into the big guy. And then he almost died. But our great, glorious paladin Belgren kept him alive. And we fought him off. And Hugo summoned a flying crowd beast.
A flying what beast?
Cloud beast?
Oh, cloud. Yeah, it was a bear made out of clouds. Yes.
And we win. Huzzah! And I'm on my deathbed. I'm bleeding.
Well, you're
I'm
laid
crying.
on me. I'm a wolf.
Yeah, and I just need to remind. I had 1 HP at the end of this fight, and James said I was wasting my treat when I ate it, but I'm only alive because of that treat. So
I just said they're mostly used to getting people up.
the 1 HP save.
I'm feeling great.
Me too.
You sure are, buddy.
Got like
You
a whole
sure
day of
are.
extra energy in here.
Okay. And that is where we will pick up with the aftermath of the battle. Bear with me 1 second. This is where you had your fight and stood victorious.
There we
what do you guys
are.
do? Oh, the music should have changed. It didn't.
I
Sorry.
have.
Go ahead, Bumpkin.
I was thinking I have a couple points in lay on hands that I can give out to Kensington.
I am sprawled out on the back of Hugo, just kind of looking up, blood dripping out of my arms onto the ground, and I'll look over and see your glowing hands and just
Yeah. And then just actually, I'll give so I'll give 7. I think
wonderful.
that's a good number.
Is the like it's like you see like the cuts start to heal just a little bit, not a lot. I'm like, great. I'm just gonna stay here. Hugo, let me know before you decide to drop me.
You see,
Well,
Jexera leans in over you as you're on the back of the wolf. You just see her face kind of appear in your field of vision. She takes the veil down, and she just looks like it's like consternation is on her face, and she's like, making you very large, it did nothing. You making you blessed with the power of the dwarven paladin is it did nothing either.
Have you ever seen a big pin cushion? Just like one with all the pins in it for sewing, and that's what I turned into there. And you know what? I did good as my acting job of a big archery target.
Well,
That was
perhaps next time we make you very small and see maybe you can run inside clothes of creatures and enemies and maybe stab them with tiny sword.
What if I crawled up inside one of them and then he broke his concentration? What would happen?
Oh, like you got big again?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm ready to explode. I'm just glad it's you getting shot, not me. I'm just having a good day over here.
Don't worry, Kimball. Your day will come. It's come
Yeah.
before and it'll keep coming.
You know about Kimball? He always comes. Wait.
I'll resume, Kimball.
I think that perhaps we need to get you some rest. You do not look very good at all.
This is comfortable. I'll just stay up here for a little bit. Just for the hair, it's really doing.
Oh,
something
it's
for
so
me.
much that you could probably wrap it around you like a blanket.
I'm gonna do that.
Just tie it.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
start
literally.
digging myself into the hair. Just like,
Yeah,
you guys,
you're
let
you're
me
now
know.
invisible.
Let me know if you need me for anything. I'm gonna
Like a
like drop.
tent.
I'm gonna drop my bag down, and I'll be like, "There are snacks in there if anybody gets hungry on the road."
Okay. Are you wanting to stop and short rest, or are you wanting to continue straight onwards, or what's the thinking?
We could short rest if people
I'm-
have like hit die to roll.
Everybody has an
is this
extra hit
our-
die to roll.
We get like 2 short rests a day. Is that right?
No limit.
Unlimited as long as you have stuff to spend.
Yep.
Or get
Oh,
back.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you as long as you've both got hit die to spend, obviously on the short rest, but also like as long as you're in a place, I'm not going to promise that you'll be safe.
That's safe. Yeah.
I'm not going to promise that you won't get interrupted, but in general, obviously, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to take a short rest and then take a short rest and then take a short rest, but in general, it's completely up to you guys.
Maybe we find somewhere where goblins don't frequent and then take a short rest.
Yeah, maybe a secluded area.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still wanting to maneuver through the around the mountain as opposed to?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah. I would assume that's the.
We definitely don't want to climb straight up the mountain and try to go over the top. That seems silly.
Well, no, of course, but you're not going into the mountain foothills and working your way round. You're staying
Towards
right
the edge,
down.
I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you make your way into this sort of, it's like a slight woodland, I guess, is the best way of describing it. There isn't much cover, but there's a little bit. And you see sort of a very open clearing at one point. With a bunch of huts, but you can see even from this point and from listening that they, from here at least, you can't hear or see any bustling or noises connected to said huts.
Is this like a size of a village amount of huts, or is it more like just like
7 to 10 small huts?
7 to 10 huts?
If you want
And
to call
they,
it a
they
village,
appear
be my guest.
abandoned.
They appear closed. The best I've got for you right now.
Does it look like these would be like adventurer kind of camping material, or is this more of like a?
They're definitely too small, the huts, for standard adventurers, unless they're all halflings. And things are not very well made. Even, like you can see a little well at the center of the town that looks like it's been sort of shacked together. It's a sort of deep hole with a bucket in it. There's no sort of stonework around it or anything like that. Perhaps give me an insight check, Pilgrim?
Where is it?
You said that these are sized for smaller than humans.
Yeah, you would estimate the creatures that inhabit this to be between the size of 2 and 4 feet.
Yeah, inside
Jex
is
would be the same
17.
height as the hut.
Okay.
This craftsmanship of the huts themselves, and indeed of everything they're using, is far too shoddy to be any sort of standard humanoid race. You would assume that these belonged to the goblins, perhaps even the ones you just fought. You don't know if there would be other goblins in there or not. But certainly it seems very quiet and hush-hush. A reminder that it's about 4 p.m., I think, at this point.
We certainly don't want to leave any potential enemies at our rear. Perhaps we should inspect the huts. I'm willing to go.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to
Oh,
sort
I'll
of...
stay with Ken.
do you
Yeah,
want to
I'm
sort
kind of I'm napping.
in what manner do you wish to approach these huts, Jax?
Is it just me or Kimball?
I'll
Did you
go
want
up.
to go with me?
With you.
Okay, I think the two of us can be pretty sneaky. Maybe we'll leave Belgrin back to protect.
Or if you two want to go, it
With
doesn't
all that
matter.
armor.
I just
Yeah.
figured I might have an easier time stealthing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think we'll just kind of approach stealthily with weapons drawn, trying to creep up on them in
Okay.
case anyone's inside.
Go ahead and give me both of your stealth check.
23.
Natural 20, 27.
Oh,
Nice. The two of you move up towards the huts. Even a small collection of mice outside are undisturbed by your footfalls. Indeed, when you open up the first hut, it is completely abandoned. There is no sign that anyone was living in here. However, when you open the second, third, and fourth, you do see the signs of down tools, somewhat half-finished meals, vague belongings, shoddy bits of clothing, that sort of thing. It does indeed look like a goblin resting place, but right now there don't seem to be any goblins at home. And indeed, I will say you can open all 7 huts, and there's no one here. You would guess that maybe this was a sort of like temporary outpost as opposed to a permanent residence. Mostly based on the fact that there's only 2 beds.
doesn't look like there's much here.
Perhaps we should head back to the others, and we'll just we'll come back and report, and then the group can carry on quietly.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to kind of like mask the fact that we were there, so like trying to make it so that the footprints that like Kimball and I left behind, that I kind of like use like a branch or something to kind of like scuffle it over so they can't tell which way we came in, which way we left.
Okay. So you're just checking the huts for any people and then closing the doors again. You're not sort of wandering through them or anything.
Is there like one that looks important more so than the others?
No, I don't think so. I think, in fact, it is plain and obvious that different people use these at different times. Or different goblins, rather, use these at different times.
Then Kimball's good. He doesn't want to look through any of them.
Okay. Yep. There is sort of abandoned food and drink stores, but really, you're very quick to note there is nothing of value, certainly. Do you guys want to use this area to rest up, or do you want to move on as quickly as possible and rest up somewhere else?
That's up to the group. What do you guys think?
So is like the rest
Miss-
of the area surrounding this is kind of still like a foresty
You're
area.
in
It's
a-
not like what we were in.
You're currently in a clearing within the woods.
Oh, okay.
It's like an open grove.
Yes, exactly that. And in fact, if you certainly, Hugo would have noticed already that the trees that were here have not only been cut down, but then subsequently uprooted to create this clearing.
They put effort into this.
Well, someone did. You're not sure it's them.
Well, if we're only
Oh,
staying an
I
hour,
say
we could
this is-
stay here.
Yeah, this is good enough for a short rest, at least, right?
I think so.
It's buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, these snacks Kensid made are really good.
Those Scooby snacks.
Yeah.
He makes a killer hummus.
So you
Jack's definitely wants to do that.
Sorry, go on.
I'll kind of post up around the edge of the clearing, kind of find a little secretive spot to kind of keep an eye out while everyone else is resting, because I don't think I am injured. Yeah, I'm not too bad. So
So now as rest will take you to about 5:30 in the evening. It is still raining outside, but there are no storm clouds, and they're beginning to sort of swell a little closer around certain areas. You will know at this point that you can move through the valley itself, or you can move on the low parts of the hills around when you move out of this woodlands. So it's sort of like it's time to plan your journey, if you will. So as you look out from this clearing, you note that there's a path leading directly through the woodlands, which is heading sort of northwest, I would guess. Or a more direct path where you're trying to get a more direct western path that will go slightly up onto the edge of the mountain and skirt it like that. In case you guys want something to discuss, it'll be a short rest.
I'd rather take the high ground, but that's just me. I don't really have a strong opinion.
It has its advantages. Yeah, Bumpkin?
I was gonna say, have we established at this point that this kind of like tent area that we're at is kind of like a central hub for different groups that may come back from things? So I'm saying, like, if that's the case, it might not be a good idea for us to, if we don't want to encounter anyone, to not like walk the beaten path and kind of, again, like go kind of higher up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely both paths are paths. They're definitely paths that people walk on. But you would guess that the goblins don't go up into the mountains, or if they do, they have holes that they sort of shelter in. They wouldn't use the mountain path for wandering along. The woodland path, probably again, goblins are more likely to stick to the outer areas. That being said, this is the Untamed Lands. Any path that has been forged here has been maintained by nasties and beasties, not, standard humans. The path through the forest is more a sort of game trail. The path leading up into the mountains is a definitive path that has obviously been used by various creatures.
During this short rest, could I do some painting?
Of course you can.
Cool. I would like to paint a scene, if you will, where it's the foresty background and it's raining, and in the middle of the frame is this giant wolf, this black wolf, and he's like, you're like, there's like goblins at like the edge of the corners, so it's like from the goblin's point of view, and there's this giant wolf, and he's like growling and snaring, and you can just about see, like behind the wolf, like through his legs, like an elf just like bloodied on the floor, just bleeding out.
Not even gonna make me giant.
Nope.
Is this a piece you're going to be working on over a series of short and long rests, or are you going to sort of slapdash try and work it out in an hour?
I don't think Hugo would spend more than a long rest on a painting, because he did the first one within a short rest, I think. So yeah.
Stick figures.
I'll have you guys know that I very specifically asked Hugo to let me know before he was gonna draw me, and he didn't.
You were too busy healing and bandaging yourself.
No, I was sleeping on your back.
Well,
yeah, but within the my wild shape would have dropped though within the short rest.
Also, he can't paint while a wolf.
I know, he had to drop it, which means I just collapsed under.
I would have put you in a bush first.
He just kind of shuffles. I'm holding onto his fur.
We just rolled you down onto a bedroll and leave you there.
Yeah, exactly.
The campaign will continue without you. That's fine.
But yeah, I'll continue it like when we then have either the next short rest or long rest.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Also, if anybody else did hit die, I don't know if anybody else other than me did. If you needed the extra D8, you can. Just let me know if you use it so I can mark it off.
We need an extra D8.
I'm not doing it.
I rolled pretty high actually, so I'm good.
That was
untouched.
Fine. Yeah, same.
You have like 8 health bars, so.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Health bar number 7. Engage.
Okay. As the rain begins to pick up a little more, heavier, you know that you can make quite good progress through the mountain valley, and then seek shelter in the valley along the mountains, or you can head up onto that sort of upper mountain pass and head along the edge there and find some shelter that way. Anybody got a preference? I know that Jex mentioned taking the high ground. Disputes?
I think high ground.
Okay.
It's just more of the conversation of, do we want to take the road where we know we're going to run into more obstructions, even if it means that we'll be
There is no safe
on the
road
high
into it.
ground? Yeah, but like as you said, if it's a well-established path and it's not being, traveled by mostly humans, so we know that this is something that we're going to run into people more likely, or not people, but objectives.
On a side note, it may also be noted that any other adventuring parties you're likely to encounter would be on that path.
It's a gamble,
I
but
think both are a gamble. So
either way, we're more likely to run into something or less likely to run into anything. So I kind of want to run into stuff. I think finding things or people can be interesting and deadly, but worst comes to worst, we can always run.
It's because you didn't get your ass handed to you today.
Absolutely. My confidence is through the
There's
roof.
still time. Okay, I'm going to take that as we're going through the mountain path.
Yeah.
Great. As this path slowly ascends into the mountains, it doesn't ever, after it's gone up a little way, it doesn't ever go any higher or lower. You're going on a fairly flat path, just basically skirting the edge of the mountain. You look down at the valley below, there's scatterings of trees. A small stream is fed by a series of waterfalls throughout as it winds through between the mountains. And those with sharp eyes, any passive perceptions over 15 here? So 15 or above. I think it's probably Jex and no, not Jex.
No.
Just Hugo.
I've got 14.
Close. 14
Hey,
as well.
fantastic. In that case, I will take a perception check from Jex and Hugo to see if either of you spot anything.
$18.
17.
Okay. So Hugo, you will always note the sort of wildlife that's about in these sorts of areas, and you do note that the majority of the birds you see are vultures or other carrion-eating birds, and there's very little sign of any normal creatures. There's no rabbits scurrying about. There's no, even to the point of little small creepy crawlies or anything like that. You notice almost nothing. Jex, as you walk along on these bare stones, you do see that many of them being tumbled off the path. The path is a little less well kept than you might have imagined. But as you look at the sheer rock faces and scree on the left-hand side, sort of across from you, over here, you do see a couple of times either rope ladders, or even at one point a rope bridge leading from one to the other. You see small signs of huts up in the mountains. And you would know these are likely orcs that have been holding that side, but they are on the other side of the valley. You don't see any sign of that on your side of the valley.
On our side, do we have any of these like rocky screes which could be like ambush points?
No. On your side, the mountain is sort of like steep, but it's not direct facing. It's very sort of steep upwardsly. It's a deep grass. You do note another path quite a long way above you. That perhaps, you might imagine if the entire path circles around the mountain, perhaps the second time round it's higher up. But you see no sign of any sort of movement on there, no sign of any huts or constructions up there. And indeed, none of these rope ladders. There's also almost no footprints on the ground. Although it's a stone path, so it's less likely, even this rain, somebody would have left a footstep somewhere. It's clear that this path hasn't been utilized in at least the last week.
Excellent. I'll go back, trot back to the main group, deliver the report, tell them to keep their eyes on the huts on the other side, especially for movement. as we're walking along with that, I'm going to approach Kimball, and Jaxera is going to be like, Kimball, this water from the sky, when does it end?
Give me a nature check.
The rain?
Yes. It
Kimball.
keeps coming and coming more and more and more. I've never seen so much.
I have the answer to that one.
Well, Kenshin knows. I actually don't know a lot about how the weather works, but I know this hummus is good.
When you keep saying, blessing water upon people, apparently it finally added up, and now everybody's getting their water.
I think you did it, yeah.
You think?
Congratulations, man!
I did not think.
You're
I
like
did
a
not think
shaman.
Aira listened to prayers in such a manner.
I mean, apparently she does.
Apparently she does.
Yeah.
I had never thought I would be wishing for less water. This is. I do not know what to do.
Can you wish for gold next, maybe, or?
Oh, what if this is like a lesson in being thankful? Because like you're getting so much water, you have to appreciate it.
Yeah. Maybe complaining about it's gonna make your god mad.
You make a good point. I will try to.
Appreciate the blessings, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to watch what I pray for more carefully. I will pray for you and you, both of you, to be stabbed less. I think that's a safe prayer.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate
Yeah.
that one.
I would too.
Maybe pray for Belgrin as well.
We could all use a
Belgrin is
little
not
bit.
usually so much trouble. Belgrin seems to know how to keep himself out of the way of the sharp point of the blade.
Well, it
Belgrin
doesn't
got
hurt.
stabbed plenty earlier, so I
Vulcan was definitely stabbed. That did
Yes,
happen.
but Belgrin doesn't lay around on brothers and sisters complaining about how much they're wounded and how much they're bleeding. And it just seems much tougher than either of
Take
them, to
a
be
take a
honest.
break from insulting me and have a chip with some hummus.
Okay, let me try.
Can I have my bag back, Kimball?
Oh yeah, here you go.
Thank you. There's only enough snacks for everybody to eat, like a little bit.
Sorry, I've been stress eating.
While that conversation is going, Belgrin, can you give me a dex save, please?
Oh shit!
As you're trotting along on this wet path, you see Dernick stumble forward, sliding on a wet stone, and he begins to sort of tumble towards the edge of the path. What did you get?
That's a 1.
Oh dear.
What a
Just
good
a
It's a
session.
4 minus 3.
You sort of turn around and look behind you.
Owlbears and goblins, and then he dies just tripping off falling.
Just a rock.
You turn around to look behind you, and then when you look back, Belgrin has just tumbled. Sorry, Belgrin. Dernick has just tumbled down to the side. Kiara
Like,
sort of
all the way down.
He falls about 20 or 30 feet, rolling as he goes, and then gets sort of hooked down on a tree, and he manages to just hook himself around it.
I made something for this exact thing, and I pull out a fucking gun. Sorry, crossbow.
Not a crossbow.
You're gonna put him out of his misery?
I pull out.
He's like a lame horse.
You'll
we
be
did
your
our
wife,
best.
brother.
I
Take
pull
me
out-
back.
I pull out my crossbow, and I pull out what looks like a really weird arrow that's like barbed and hooked on the end, and I go, "This should help."
That
And I
one
tie
leaves his
off-
wife.
A rope to it, and I say, "Someone hold the other end of this rope for me, real quick."
You're going to shoot Derek?
No, I'm gonna shoot right next to him.
What? But what? You miss frequently.
I actually
Maybe you
don't
should-
miss frequently.
He's got
That's
steady
not
aim.
true.
I believe in you.
I
believe
take
in
steady aim and I
Oh,
shoot
bro.
right in front of
Derek,
him,
duck! Get behind the rock.
and I'm
he's
specifically
unconscious.
shooting an anchor. Oh, he's unconscious.
Oh yeah. Completely unconscious.
I might have to
He's hit
shoot
on a
him.
rock. No, he's hit his
He's-
head on a rock. But obviously, if you can create the grappling line, then somebody can go down and go back up.
Yeah. All right, this still applies. I shoot my anchor arrow. Goodbye, sweet prince, and I'll tie it off
Down there.
up top.
Yeah. Okay. Who would scale down the line to pick up Dernick and bring them back?
I'm holding the line,
Is
so
that
not
a
me.
dex-based endeavor?
I can go.
Can you lift Dernick?
Or does Hugo
looking.
have some kind of animal that would be great for this?
Hugo does have his wild shapes back. Jex, what's your strength?
Oh. It's not bad. It's 12.
Okay. Yeah, so Jex, you might be capable of lifting Dernick and taking the rope, and reeling yourself in, but you know that you'd be severely encumbered and it would be a very tough struggle to get back up the hill with Dernick. Obviously, with Kensidon and Belgren reeling you in, you would stand a good chance, but it is still a tough endeavor.
I mean, Jaxera would definitely do it.
Okay, great.
Anyway.
As you make your way down the guide rope, I don't need any checks to get down there, but when you get down there, you do notice that he's sort of gashed his head. He's got a large cut across the side of his head that's bleeding fairly profusely, where he's hit it on a rock.
Can I try to patch his wound?
Yeah, give me a medicine check. If he hadn't snagged on this tree, you know that probably would have spelt the end of him.
Oh boy.
After everything we've been through, slipping.
14 on medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can sort of very quickly bind his head with a spare piece of cloth and know that any further attention will need to be done in a place that's not halfway down a hillside. And indeed, as you're standing there trying to do this, you do note that your footing is gently sliding constantly. The rain has laid these grasses and muds very slick. Most stones are not particularly well purchased within the ground, and so it's already difficult footing, and even trying to work out how you're going to lift him without falling, you're immediately going to be fairly reliant on the rope.
On the line.
Yeah, how would you lift Dernick?
So what I'd like to do, so this thing that Kimball shot is like a grappling hook with a couple of hooks at the end, right?
You can pull that out. You don't have to leave it.
Well, I can also leave that in and like hook it on like Dernick's belt.
Okay. I'm almost going to pull it out of the ground where it currently is, and you can instead, hook it around Dernick. Okay.
Yeah. And then I can like kind of
you have your own rope?
I can kind of like ride Dernick up. It's kind of like a Dernick surfboard, so I can be standing on top of him. He's hooked around the middle of his waist at his belt by the grappling hook, and I will hold the rope and try to keep my weight off of him so I don't like tear through the belt or his belt loops or anything. Try to keep my weight off of him and just kind of let the stronger boys up top try to do the heavy lifting.
Okay. Do you have any additional rope? Do you have your own rope, perhaps, to secure him?
I have my own rope.
Right. Yeah. So you know how to tie a good sort of solid knot around exactly, and then put the grapple hook through. At this point, you do realize that you can ride him up, as you said, or you can also just let them reel him up and just walk up behind him.
Well, I'm worried about this sliding. I'm worried about sliding further down myself.
You will also
I don't think I want to do
that. In that case, I will take an athletics or acrobatics check with advantage, your choice. Jex. I don't think there's any question that Belgren and Kensidon can hold the line given their strength. That's I don't need a check for that. They just sort of firm hands. Like, that's it. If you two want to give me athletics rolls, you may, but I'm pretty certain you're holding.
It's a 21 from me for acrobatics.
Right. Okay.
I don't need to roll.
Even if you roll a nat one, like the combined strength is more than enough. All that happens is your feet slip for a bit, and then you just sort of reassess yourself, get back behind it, nice and easy.
Belgium, you did most of the lifting there.
Yes.
Belgium, you suddenly realize there is a third person on the line as Kenton is also sliding down the hill, just sort of like, for goodness sake, and yank on them in. But yes, with a 21 on your acrobatics check, you are able to keep the weight off of Dernick a lot. And when Dernick is finally up at the top, not only is he unconscious, but it's looking like he's not going to come around anytime soon. Who's proficient in medicine? Just Belgren? Yeah. Belgren, as you assess...
I am.
Oh, okay. Never mind. The whole party's proficient.
We're all healers.
We need it.
So Kiara will offer with her healer's kit to at least stitch the wound closed. But you know the absolute best thing for him is rest. So getting to a place where Dernick can rest in peace instead of just getting wet and cold and whatever in the rain might be.
Where he can rest in peace.
Yeah, that too.
The opposite. I think great
That's what you said.
To not rest.
You had phrased it differently, to be honest.
Same words.
I didn't even realize I said that.
So, we need somebody to carry Dernick then?
It would seem like the best plan of operation, unless you want to set up some sort of stretcher or.
Hold on. I might be able to whip up something.
Ooh,
I'm gonna take. Are there any trees nearby?
this one's looking good.
All right. Anyone got an axe I can
There's
borrow
also a
real
little
quick?
tree here. I don't think
I
anyone has an
have
axe.
something you can use, like an axe.
I don't
Anything
think-
works?
I got my spare greatsword.
what toolkits do we have, guys?
Let's take a
Well,
look.
who's got artisan tools?
I got masons.
Great,
Tinkers.
that's exactly what you need. With a mason's toolkit, there'll be a small hatchet, which is designed for breaking down different bits of wood or various other things. You could easily cut down a tree with it.
Okay. I'm gonna take my rope, take just 3 or 4 long wise sticks, and then 2 longer ones from each of the trees. Fasten that together. It's a pulley.
Okay, and I'm assuming you've got a spare cloak or piece of canvas that you can put over
Yeah.
it. To give me nice and easy. Go ahead
Use
and
the
give
cloaks
me
that we got from the tower.
Go ahead and give me a Tinker's Tools check.
Oh yeah. Do I have expertise or proficiency in that? I don't remember.
I don't know. Read your item.
Yeah.
I can't
Good
help you
point.
with that.
Features and
Guidance.
traits. Oh, thank you. I'm a tinkerer. I'm proficient. Okay. Skills. It's just going to be a D20 plus. Does tinkerers just have proficiency, or does it do a stat modifier as well?
Do I not have I not given you a Tinker's Tools skill?
I have minor tinkerer.
No, a skill, an actual skill. All right, let me
I
just
don't
do that
think so.
quickly.
I don't even know where that would be.
In your skills.
Oh,
I'll do that now.
okay.
My guidance comes in the form of telling you where to chop so that it doesn't fall on top of you or down the cliff.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, you haven't got Thieves Tools either. I'll do that as well. Let me just read your item. What does it say? Music stopped. Stop the rain. Put the rain back on. You have a +1 and he checks made with Tinker's Tools while wearing his goggles. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So miscellaneous bonus 1. Fantastic. If you refresh your page with a Control-Shift-R, you will find your Tinker's Tools skill. Do you have expertise in Thieves' Tools or just proficiency?
I can check my page real quick. Expertise is stealth and investigation.
Okay. So you will also have Thieves' Tools on your custom skills in a moment. It is annoying. It adds a very small scroll bar. Sorry about that. Life goes on.
I don't mind.
Yeah, so if you could just click the Tinker's Tools button now.
Plus a
to make your life
D4.
easier. Yep.
I did not roll good. But a 15 total.
15
with
solid.
everything.
15 solid. It's far from your best piece of work. It was more important to do it expediently than to do it, make it look beautiful. This is probably not something you'll be bringing along with you after Dernick is okay, but it does the job, and that's what's important. Kenton and Belgren taking the stretcher? Or does anybody else?
How long has it been since the fight with the goblins?
About an hour and a half. Plus
Damn.
your short rest, 2.5 hours.
Damn. Okay.
I can
I
take
guess.
the other half.
I'll take the other half. Yeah, that's fine. Just cancel it out.
So Kenton and Jex would take it?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. I think that makes sense. I think Belgren's perhaps a little more heavy-footed and might want to keep an eye on your own footing. A little less dexterous as it is.
You know that thing you do with your friends next to the highway? I'll walk between Belgren and the cliffside just in case.
There is no space for that. You guys are single file at all times. I mean, if you look at this path, it is narrow, right?
Just hug your hips from the back.
One wet stone and off the hell you go. Yeah. Okay. You guys are able to go for about 20 minutes before you see any sign of shelter at all. And then there's this sort of, it looks like a very small overhanging cave. First. And
Perhaps we should head for that. He's heavier than he looks.
Really?
I bet.
I'm not really.
No?
You must have the light end.
You want to trade? We can switch sides.
It's like you've got the legs, and you're like you've got the light end.
Jaxera's very fit, but she's not built for like weightlifting for sure for long periods.
Oh,
Throw back to Kenson doing weightlifting.
He's like doing reps with the stretcher.
As you enter into this cave,
Man,
however, it does seem to go a lot further in than you were expecting. It seems fairly
Ah.
deep.
I'd be willing
How
to
deep
go-
does it keep on going?
You look for a while, and then you really aren't sure. It winds and winds, and you begin to think, wow, okay, you have no real concept of how deep this is at all.
Belgrin, this is more your expertise, yes? Caves and undergrounds?
I can try my best. I mean, my weapon will surely help, and I'll tap it real quick, at least like cast light on it, so we've got some sort of light source going down deeper in the cave.
Okay, bear with me a second. Is that 20, right, 20? Is it just the light cantrip? It is, right?
Yeah,
Okay, bear with me a second. My map seems a little off.
I do it. Do?
Okay. 5 and 15. I will give you that vision on your token in a second.
Oh, would I usually have dark vision or no?
Sorry?
Oh, there it is.
Dwarves-
Yeah, got it. Yeah, dark
dwarves
vision
do,
60
yeah.
feet. Yeah.
And you have some kind of stone thing as a skill too. I forget what it's called.
I
Stone
have it
cunning,
now.
yeah,
Some
that's
kind of
not. I
rock
don't
or
think that's
stone.
particularly important here, though.
I think that's
Oh.
more so like I can assess the
Workmanship.
architecture of a building, yeah, and kind of denote things.
Oh,
from
I
that.
see. I
Yeah.
see.
So what are you trying to work out, Boger? Anything specific about this cave, or just how deep it goes?
I think, well, yeah, just like noting usual ways. I guess like the one thing I could try and do is discern whether or not like these are tunnels made by an extremely large creature, or if this is like some sort of like hand worn down like cave
Okay.
that's been.
Go ahead and put your tokens, guys, down here. Oh, sorry, there's no dynamic lighting on this map. Shit. I don't know why that's happened. Let's do that. Bang. Okay. Better.
There's so many Hugo As's. I have to scroll down to find myself.
You should be able to just close all of those. Like they're in a folder, so you can just close the folder off.
Ah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then you won't be able to see all of the pretty pictures as you scroll.
You'll surprise me later, I'm sure. It's nice to space them out and get a new surprise each week.
Yeah, I'm sort of very hurriedly adding in the dynamic lighting I completely forgot to put on this map, so just bear with me a second. But as you look at the walls, Belgren, give me a... I'll start with a perception check,
Perception.
if you can notice about it.
It's a 12.
Guidance.
Oh,
Yeah.
I happened
that
after the
default.
roll.
No, you can have the default, that's fine.
Okay, so it was 14, 13, 12.
I'll try and help you point
16.
out to
Yes.
see if there's any like animal markings that could have.
He was just a
Yeah,
bit late to
the
see you
tunnel.
staring at the wall. Sorry, what was your total roll in the end?
16.
Okay. So certainly in this opening chamber, it does look like the rough-hewn walls have been smoothed over a little bit. And there is a sign of a fire pit at the center. So certainly people have used these. But it's very obvious to your dwarven eyes that this is no man-made cave. It is certainly a natural existence. You're unsure what could have created the caves, because frankly, I don't even know what makes caves in real life. What makes caves in real life?
Well, they erode over time.
Yeah, it's the erosion of limestone gets dissolved by water.
Ah,
and
you're pretty quick
leaves
to realize
big-
that that's what caused this cave.
Well,
Look at you go, Belga.
You know, if anyone would know it, it's a
Belgrin,
dwarf.
your knowledge of limestone is insane.
They have stone cunning.
Yep. Belgrim very briefly puts on his scientist's hat, gives you an explanation of how the cave came to be.
a
One
monocle
thing.
somehow comes up.
Sorry.
It's like a quick little monocle comes up in light and just like quickly disappears after the rant of limestone.
But you will very quickly notice that the sound is echoing here. These caves go deep. But
Do
for
I
now,
notice any like bones or
That's what I was about to
fur
say.
or tracks or.
For now, I'll take a survival check from both Jex and from Hugo, please. Hugo, you can only guidance one person, so.
I'll guidance myself.
8 for me.
Okay.
What is that? 28 for me.
Okay. So, Jex, you do notice there are some bones scattered around, but you're unsure whether they are from animals that have died here or from cooking that has been done sort of in this campfire. Whether, so whoever was using the campfire has discarded bones during the process. Hugo, you're very quick to note that definitely the last few creatures that have taken shelter in here have been animals. And you find bear tracks on the ground, although you're pretty sure they're at least a month or two old. This isn't the season for bears to be hibernating, so said bear is probably out. I don't know, doing whatever bears do, shitting in the woods, probably.
Yeah, with the Pope. Yeah, I'll tell the people that.
But you do know that this is a good place to rest in from the rain. And as it's 7:30 at night, you might want to, set up a campfire inside or on the edge of the cave, just outside, just under the outside entrance. Yeah. So you don't smoke yourselves out.
They have a place for a campfire here already, right? So we might as well just use that.
Yeah. It is just on the edge of the entrance. How would we light a campfire, and what are we putting in it to burn?
How the wizard? What are we putting in it? I have parts of the tree I cut down.
Oh, we're just going to burn the actual
Okay.
structure? Or did you just gather some extra firework in the process?
I mean,
Firework,
to
yes.
use
Don't gather
that, I'd
fireworks,
have
gather
to.
firewood.
I would have to have cut off all of the limbs of the tree in order to use the main log, and so if we didn't keep those, then
makes
no,
sense.
but it would have made sense just to hold on to it for kindling.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you can build up your campfire, and Danik will take his rest. What's a cooking? What's happening? Kimball, can you move your
Sarah
token
just
out
looks
of the
thrilled to be
hole?
out of the rain. She's like shaking out all of her clothes and trying to wring out all the water. Everything is wet. Too much.
You guys are in for a treat. We're gonna cook some vegetable stew. And it's just vegetables. That's it. You guys are only getting vegetables. Hope you guys like vegetables.
What vegetables are in your vegetable stew?
Fresh vegetables. That is what it is called. Just fresh.
Sure, but
I love fresh vegetable stew.
Obviously, you've now been in the Untamed Lands for 2 days, is it, I think?
Yeah.
Correct? So what vegetables would you have purchased that would have kept well for a couple of days?
Turnips.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. I do have potatoes. That is its own item.
This wasn't a group quiz. I was curious as to what Kensidon bought. I do know which vegetables last 2 days. I have also been to a grocery store.
Carrots. We got tomatoes. We got
No
potatoes. Those aren't vegetables. So
Yeah, no apples, man. Why would we have them?
I definitely didn't put the apple in the vegetable stew. We'll throw a little bit of lettuce in there.
You think your lettuce lasted 2 days just randomly chilling?
I think
in
we
your
have to
backpack?
trust the process.
Stew?
We have to trust the process with this lettuce in the soup.
Some celery,
Stew.
some little celery bits, artichoke hearts.
Oh hell, we going posh. Artichoke hearts,
Goodness.
all
Wow.
right. Yeah, go ahead, give me a cooking check.
As
The
Ken's
10.
Sorry, what was the roll?
10.
10.
10.
Yeah, this food helps stave off the effects of the cold. If anybody has a level of exhaustion when they eat this meal, they can lose it.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Cool.
I'm gonna pop mine up too.
Anyone? What are we doing? Hanging our clothes over the outside, over the cooking fire? Why can I not target?
could you put a light on Belgren, please?
Not this second, no. But if you go to your token things, somewhere in there will be a torch. I think, maybe?
That's what I looked at, but I couldn't find
Can I
one.
not print it
Token
out?
aura.
Oh, I haven't given you guys access to said torch, maybe? I've got torch 2, but not torch 1. Let's search torch. Go. Search. Okay, well, torch 2 it is. You will get this now. Somebody should be able to find that wherever it is. Player tools, dynamic light and
Got it.
spells. And just
Yeah.
dunk that down for a second. You'll see the walls being built as you watch. James completely forgot to do this.
I put on Belgrin. Yeah, whilst Ken's cooking, I'm gonna continue with my painting.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to make a painter supplies check to see how well I do, but I do have a picture of what Hugo's aiming for.
Okay. Kiara will give you the help action if you will accept it. As she'll sort of lean over your shoulder and say,
Yeah,
"Well, you could try
yeah.
this. You could try that."
Definitely.
So you can give me a painter supplies check with advantage.
Can I guide us myself?
No, it lasts a minute, and you're going to be painting for at least a couple of hours.
Okay.
Have I built all the walls?
Ooh, 20. Day 20.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So it's a fairly accurate representation, although done with basic supplies. You don't have fancy paints.
Yeah, so I'll post the picture in the chat. It's like this, but without the fog in the background. I probably can't make fog.
She will teach you that with white paint on a sort of sponge, you can make fog. If you want fog. It was misty during that fight.
It was misty.
Forget about it.
We named the episode after the mists. Have a look. What do we get? Oh, very nice.
Unacceptable, Oscar.
Wow.
I think that joke missed.
Oh boy.
I'm so confused.
How did I get into this group?
I don't know what he said.
Yeah, dude, you're,
Deserve this?
you're raining on this parade, brother.
Okay, well, I missed whatever's happened, but anyway. You guys are able to rest up Dernick, who will come around after about an hour and sort of look up and... What happened?
You fell.
You need to be much more careful where you step.
My head hurts. I haven't had a head like this since I learnt about Gasbuster Ale.
I mean, you hit your head really hard.
Kiara did her
Right.
best, but there may be some permanent scar.
That don't bother a dwarf. Thanks. He looks over to Kiara. He sort of looks up and... Did that rock just move?
What?
The rock up there, did it just move?
I hold up a torch. Please
Yeah.
don't be a roper.
Oh, never that, would I?
That would be horrible.
Give me a perception check.
I can certainly try. 3.
3? No, definitely not a roper. Just a rock. He's just dreaming.
That's just a rock, man. Here, have some hummus.
Perhaps I will sit with Turnick here and keep an eye on him, make sure he does not wander or something. And Jaxera pulls out the waterproof. She collected a waterproof like cartographer's case, like a little satchel, and she is going to pull out what looks to be like a sketchbook and some pretty high quality looking feather quills, and she's gonna pull out tucked into the sketchbook she has saved the single lavender flower from like way back, and she kind of sets it where she can see it really clearly in the firelight, and she starts to sketch it into her book in
Okay.
like really excessive detail, like really getting a realistic. It looks kind of like a naturalist's uh, picture, like you'd find in a science textbook or something.
Okay, that makes sense. So the campfire is probably just about here, I think. That's visible to you guys. And that will also give off a bit of light. So we'll just do that. Dim light. 10, 20. And sorry, also we had Belgren was lit up. So bright light 20 and low light a further 20. Yeah, Jax, as you're sort of sitting there in the firelight, concentrating downwards, you feel a sudden shudder down your back, as if almost like you were just somebody just ran a feather over you, and then the sensation's gone. It was quite distracting at the time.
Looking around, do I see any movement? Like I'm right next to where Dernick's like sprawled out. I'm gonna like look around him, see if there are any like insects or animals, rats or anything.
You spin one way and the other, but you see nothing, feel nothing.
Do all the others look calm?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anybody else has been disturbed by
They're
this.
just going about their business. Hmm.
Just destroying this hummus.
I was actually
Just
just gonna
made
ask if
stew
I
and
can.
you're eating my treats again.
He's got his hand in the cookie jar again, just eating treats.
Sorry, keep going.
What did you say, Belgrin?
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could take a quick moment to like go over to Dernick and do maybe like a little mini like concussion assessment to see if, because I'm a little intrigued still by his comment of the moving rocks up top.
Okay. Go ahead, give me a medicine check.
Medicine.
As you are
Well-
wondering about this, Hugo, Kiara was standing over your left shoulder, watching you paint. But you feel somebody sort of tap you on the right shoulder and you turn, and Kiara's the other side, and again, you can sort of brush it off. Not quite sure what's going on here. There's a rustle of the wind. Maybe it was that. Maybe your cloak moved. What did you get, Spelman?
Natural one.
Yeah, it doesn't look concussed at all. Looks alright.
Good rolls today, guys.
We've been rolling fire.
Astounded.
I'll call Ken over to get his opinion on the painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You call Kenton over, but doesn't respond. First, and then sort of Kenton gets up and moves over, but it was as if there was like a silent hush over the entire cave for just that moment, as if there was a delay of some sort. Even though he's only 10 foot from you, you look over, you see him, he's definitely sat there. Kenton, you can go over.
Well, what am I looking at? I mean, I know, but like, what am I looking at?
I put the picture in the chat.
Very heroic. I love it. Honestly, we should bring that home and have Mom hang that on the wall.
Really? You'd want a painting of you almost dying to be held up at home?
It can be interpreted in many ways. You're protecting me, no? Is that not like I feel like Mom would love a picture of brothers doing brotherly things.
Sure, and I'll paint with the paintbrush on the painting, but there's a pool of blood coming out of you right there. I don't know how else you would interpret that.
Listen, I'll explain the story as it happened, and Mom will say, "Why did you go and run in front of everybody?" And then I'll just say I was stupid, and that's about it. It's explanatory.
Okay, if you say so. I think I have a plan for this, but
You can put it in your room too, and you can think about it every night.
why would I do that?
Because it's a big moment. You
For
painted it, right? For you.
The moment in the picture was a big moment for me
Yeah.
because
Look at you, man. You're so heroic and you know.
I'm gonna slowly start putting away my
You hear,
my painting
you hear a
things.
sudden scream, and Kiara literally is yoinked over Hugo's shoulder up towards the ceiling.
Oh shit! Oh, I was.
Definitely
have been
a roper.
correct.
Oh man.
Kimball, roll advantage. Roll with advantage. Everybody roll initiative, please.
You just hear Kimball like he's been like looking at his hand this whole time, and he's like,
Just to clarify,
What?
did that scream come through?
Yes.
It did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, just double checking. It's very short.
I'm gonna stop rolling at all today. I'm just gonna use my
There it
imagination.
is. Why on initiative, man? Of all times.
Getting that 20?
Yeah,
Get advantage on your
24
attacks?
total.
First round?
Yeah, it's
Pretty
good for me.
Does anybody need to switch to go first? Because we have probably the first.
Well, second, I would assume, because Kimball will want to use that advantage to get the sneak attack, right?
Does give me sneak attack.
I'll once again ask, how long has it been since the
3.5 hours.
fight?
You've now had an hour's rest since you last asked.
Okay.
Oh, does it need to be 4?
Yeah.
4's fine.
Ugh.
I don't want to
4
take
hours.
I don't want to take your abilities away.
Yippee!
Does anybody want to swap in the initiative tracker before I? Does anybody want to go last, for example?
Quick question, James. Does my alert feat help me in any way in this case?
Nobody is surprised. Apart from Kiara,
Okay.
she was fucking surprised.
Okay.
But the rest of you, no, you can just roll as it is. So okay, if nobody's
Okay.
changing initiative, then we shall commence with our good friend Kimball. Kimball, what are you doing?
Man, is that thing inside or outside the cave?
Okay, so the outside of the cave is that way.
Gotcha.
That's why you put the campfire in the outside bit. It was
The
deeper in the
map
cave.
has loaded improperly for me.
Okay, just refresh.
Yeah. We're all standing on the outside for me, which is why it was a little weird. But while I'm loading, I will move and just peek around the corner, not to get too close to whatever the hell that thing is, and go, ew! And then I'm going to try and shoot it.
Okay,
with
you
my
can see it,
action.
yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I believe I should be able to.
Yeah, you can. I've just double checked.
So, if I have, yeah. I won't go that far. I'm not that heroic. I'll go that far and
Yep.
fire.
All attacks made with advantage on your first turn if you get
Not that heroic.
First attack's going to be a 20 to hit.
Okay, 20 hits.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for, and we're going to do some damage. It's going to be 15 damage total piercing,
You okay?
and then I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to shoot it again.
Okay, bonus action this is, yeah?
Yep.
Your other hand
This one will
crossbow.
just be a d6 plus 4. 26 to hit.
26 hits.
Okay, and that's going to be 8 damage.
You okay, nice.
And I hide behind that corner.
Okay. Kensidon, that is a 16 to hit you.
You know what?
16 to hit you, Kensidon.
That'll hit.
Okay, cool. You are grappled during this time. You are restrained. Hugo,
Is there damage on
a none. 16 to hit you, Hugo.
Yep.
You are also grappled. During this grapple, you are restrained. Belgren, a 23 to hit you.
Yep.
You are grappled. During this grapple, you are
Oh, boy.
restrained.
Jesus.
And Danik has 8
boy.
armor class, so that is him as well. So all 4 of you are tendrils.
I just
and
look at
then-
Jack Sarah.
And then it sort of it considers the different people on its pull, and it yoinks you. Kenton, it reels you in, and as it pulls you closer, it is going to try and bite you. That's a 17 to hit.
Go ahead.
Oh dear.
So these are tentacles like coming out of the darkness, grabbing people, and then yoinking them
Up to
down
the ceiling.
hallway.
Yeah. Well, the only person who's been yoinked is Kenton. Well, and previously Kiara. So these tentacles sort of reach out endlessly and then wrap around you multiple times, squeezing you tightly. So Dernick, Hugo, and Belgren, you're feeling this sort of tentacle wrapped around you, grabbing you. But Kenton has been sort of reeled up and then bitten by this vile-looking creature. Jex, what are you doing about it?
I want to. She leaps to her feet. She throws down the sketchbook, snatches up her spear. I'm gonna try to just kind of downward axe chop the way through the tentacle that is wrapped around Dernick, since he's right next to me.
Okay, go ahead. Try and get it down.
It's an 18.
You strike down it, but it doesn't seem to really get any purchase as you sort of slide along the tendril without really dealing anything to it. You would know that you can do what you're doing, you just didn't hit it hard enough or in the right spot.
Okay. These things are very tough. I've never seen anything like these. What I will do, as a bonus action, I'm going to focus on my spear, and it's going to kind of glow in my hands, and I am going to cast Searing Smite and hold that for my next action.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that brings us to Hugo.
How high is the ceiling?
15 feet.
Okay. Would wild shaping break me out of the grapple?
Usually, it depends on what you wild shape into. If it's something that's very similar in size and shape, then not.
It would be a large beast.
If you were, for example, in a web, maybe not. But certainly, while wrapped around this tendril, if you wild shape into a large beast, you're just going to push on outwards.
Okay, perfect then. Cool. I will wild shape. Bear with me, people.
Into a bear?
No. Not into a bear.
Can you change your token?
Yeah, I'm just putting the full picture in the chat. I'm going to turn into a giant centipede.
Oh.
Um,
Oh my god.
and I will scurry on up the wall and scurry on over there, which is just about my full movement. And I will make a bite attack.
Okay, go ahead. All ahead.
That is a 17 to hit.
Did you add the +2 from the surrounding?
Oh, 19. Sorry.
A 19 misses.
Ooh, okay.
Tough to hit
Cool.
these guys.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, very tough to hit. Belgren, you have this tendril wrapped around you. What are you doing?
It would take an action to attempt to get rid of the grapple or to get out of it.
So you can go about this a couple of ways. You could try and sort of take an action to try and break it with a strength check, or you could try and attack the tendril that's around you to break it. You would know that perhaps getting the tendril off of you won't necessarily deal any damage to the main creature. It's just about whether you'd rather make a strength check or an attack roll. You have seen it's got pretty good armor class.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my athletics is also pretty good as well.
It'll just be a straight strength check.
Oh, straight strength? Oh, that's still okay.
Okay, you can do that.
Maybe. Let's see. I might eat my words in a minute. See.
You might.
That's 11.
That ain't it.
Yep.
You try desperately to sort of break out of it, but you can't.
Okay.
You can't move, but you can use a bonus action, I think.
I was gonna say,
Okay, use
yeah.
a bonus action, please.
I am gonna use my bonus action to extend the light of my warhammer out, and I'm gonna activate that +1 armor class.
Okay. That is a
Oh,
10-foot radius. Let me put that on you. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. There we go. 10-foot radius. Boom. Cool. So if you're standing in that, you got +1 armor class. Anything else from me, Belgrin?
No movement. That's action and bonus action, so I think that's it.
Dernick sort of reaches over and tries to grab a stick of wood from the fire that's sort of hanging slightly out and tries pushing that against the tendril. It loosens on him, giving him advantage on his strength check, which he fails miserably. Finn. Josh, what would Finn do?
Oh, shit. I was meant to do something with Finn on his short rest.
Arcane recovery.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, could you give him back the 2 first level spell slots, please?
Okay.
And then put one on, because he's going to cast Magic Missile.
Yep, okay. He's going to cast Magic Missiles on this creature or on some of the tendrils? What you're thinking?
On the creature.
Okay, go ahead. Level 1 Magic Missiles is 3d4 plus 3.
Yeah. That is 10 force damage.
Nice, big damage. The creature's looking a little rough. It's not quite wounded, but it is looking like it's taking good damage. Kenton, as you are grappled and restrained up in the air, you blade in hand, obviously. As you are right next to this, what are you doing?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to as I where's the light coming from?
Various places. The campfire, Belgrin.
Yeah, so
All to
from
your
that
left.
direction, all to my left. Okay. So as you see, like my long stretched out shadow going towards like this direction, you'll see it slowly start to form up into the second version, into my echo. And then as a bonus action, or as an action rather than a bonus action to do it, and I'll use a bonus action as an action, I will teleport and I will switch positions.
Okay, so you're going to leave the shadow in the arms of the roper, but you're going to be over there, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Like that. That's your action, your bonus action, anything else?
That
You
will
surging?
turn. Yes, actually, grand idea. I will, in fact. You know what?
It's a really
I'm
grand
going
idea.
to
It's
search.
almost
Yeah.
bedtime.
Yeah, so
If
I'm
you've got
going
it,
to
use it.
action search here,
Yeah.
and my echo is going to.
Your echo is now restrained.
My echo is going to escape.
Okay, you want to try and
He
make a
rolls.
strength check?
He rolls on the same as me, so
Okay.
strength save?
Give me a strength check. Strength check.
check. That's
Or an attack
15.
15 is what you need. And your echo drops to the ground very lightly upon his feet.
I'm risking it for the biscuit. I'm gonna have my echo run back towards Belgrin.
Okay.
Actually,
cannot-
wait. He doesn't take reactions. He's an object.
That is not true. I can take an opportunity attack against it. However, I can't do it with the roper because you've dropped down.
I thought I googled this at one point and like.
I don't really care what the internet says. I can and will take
yeah.
opportunity attacks against your shadow sometimes. But a creature is much less likely to prioritize it over a creature, right? It would only be if it was the only thing in range.
Yeah.
So, cool. That brings us to... Sorry, I'm just putting restrain on Belgrin. That brings us back to the top of the order. Kimball, you're up.
I peek around the corner like I was about to go run to try and shoot Kensidon down, see that he's just fucking gone, and watch his shadow run up to Belgrin, and I'm like, oh, great! And I'm going to take steady aim, and I'm going to whip out my Colt Dagger and just slash down on the tendril that's holding Belgrin.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, roll the hit with advantage.
It's going to be 19 to hit.
With your +2 from flanking, that will hit.
Yes. Okay. All right. I always forget. Which means the damage is going to be a decent chunk here. It'll be 18 damage.
Yeah, and as this sort of sunders into the tendril, it's snatched backwards, and Balkan, you are no longer restrained. That concludes your turn.
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Timed this very well. As it's now the Roper's turn.
Just gonna grab Belgrid again.
It is going to try and grab 4 people. Because that's what it does. One at Kensington. 26. 24, sorry.
That'll hit.
Okay, so you are grappled and restrained. Oh my goodness, I'm so far off the screen. One is coming at Hugo. Gonna try. That's a 17.
What size is Hugo's centipede? Is it large?
Large, yeah.
That's fine.
Is that it can grapple
Oh, it's
large
grappling
creatures?
it quite easily, yeah. It's got
Yeah,
50.
that hits.
Each tendril
That
is 50 foot long.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you are grappled. While grappled in this manner, you are restrained. And then it is going to send out a tendril towards Kensington's Echo, which would be a 15 to hit.
That'll miss.
That's Kensington, Hugo, Kensington's Echo. There's one more, as that's going to come for Belgrin,
I got you, Belgrin.
but a 14 will miss. And then it is going to try and reel someone in. And I think this time it's going to reel in Dernick. Brings him right up there, and then he's going to take a bite at
no.
Hugo. Sorry, that's with advantage, so let me just roll crit fish. 24 will hit, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take 27 piercing damage.
Jesus, man, really?
There's only one attack per round, but it's a big
Oh
one.
my god, during Pride Month?
This is what.
It's not during Pride Month!
It's not even Pride. Ropers are like early game killers, man. They're vicious.
Yep, Jax, what are you doing?
I'm gonna leap forward and try to go after Dernick.
Okay.
I'm going to come
not
up
your enemy.
here.
I was just
He's now.
I said he's not your enemy. Carry on.
Hey, if we can go after babies, then Dernick is fair game, guys.
Yep, that's fair.
I'm gonna try to stab the tentacle that has him.
Okay. Yep. I will tell you guys just a little word of warning. If you spend 4 actions around breaking the tendrils, and the tendrils go 4 times around and restrain you, you will die.
Well, if I hit it though, which I didn't, but if I do, it does damage to the creature. Yeah.
No, that was made very clear right at the first attack. That striking the tendrils will not damage the roper.
Well, I would have missed anything in the world anyway. So
Okay, absolutely fine. Cool. Any bonus action?
That is my bonus action. Oh, jeez. Is there anything I can do as a bonus action that can be useful?
Armor class good.
Yeah, armor class is good. I was just wondering if there's anything more useful that I could do, but no. Can I do the thing that gives the next attack against them advantage?
I think it's going to be very difficult for you to trip a roper.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
then I
you
will
can
just
distract it. You can distract it. Wave your weapon in its eyes. Yeah, give the next attack advantage. Why the fuck not?
Okay.
I like that. Okay. That'll be
So I'll
Hugo.
forego the AC.
Okay.
Yeah, I can roll straight.
You are also surrounding this creature, so there will be a +2 to that on top.
+2. Yeah,
but you do know a 19 has missed.
Yeah, I'll bite back at it.
Okay.
I googled what sound a centipede makes. I can't make that sound, but just kind of imagine what a rattlesnake sounds like. It's very, very similar to that.
Centipedes are so scary, man.
That is a 21 to hit.
Oh, 21 is more than 20.
I need a con save.
Oh, do you? What's this against?
Poison damage.
Okay.
That's 5 piercing.
I got a 19. It does... Yeah, 19 is probably quite a lot.
Then...
It does how much damage?
Oh, so the piercing was... What was
5?
it? 5.
Yep, okay.
I was just checking if it takes half on a pass, but it doesn't.
Okay. Anything else from you?
Nope.
Belgrin. Josh, can you not heal yourself up as a bonus action?
With the amount of damage he does, there's no point. 1d8
Okay,
is
cool.
not going to stop a 4d8 damage
I was
roll,
just double
you know?
checking if you wanted to do it. Okay, sorry, Belgren, didn't mean to interrupt you. What are you doing?
I was just saying that probably gonna try and also run up as much as I can to get people who are like directly with the roper in my little aura.
Yep.
So it's
Very helpful.
5, 10, 15. It was 20, 25? Or is it?
Yeah, we can put you there. Shugo's currently restrained, so I can just do this.
Well, I'm on the ceiling, so yeah.
Yeah, but you're currently restrained by the roper, so you can be over there. So yeah, just to clarity, I'll put him over there. That will still be in your aura, I promise. Yeah, what now?
Oh, I don't know what to do.
Damage.
Smash.
That's what I'm
face.
hoping, but in what form?
So we can't. Hurting the tentacles doesn't hurt the creature. We have to hurt the creature
Yeah.
and kill it in order to stop it from roping.
I will say that
every
given your
round.
height, Belgren, you will need to throw your hammer to hit this. As it is, it's 15 foot up on the ceiling. That will be a mighty leap for Belgren to hit it with a melee attack. But I will, but just because of the nature of it, I will still give you the +2 for surrounding it, even though technically you're a little lower, because it'll still see you as like a creature below it hitting it with a weapon, right? But it will just count as a throw. I don't think that makes any difference to you actually, but it's visually worth noting.
Yeah, no, I'll try and make a swipe with my hammer at it.
Okay.
Just like chuck it.
Yep.
Let's do that little like twirl and just let it go.
Okay. Roll to hit and add the +2 from the surrounding.
+8 total. That's a natural 20.
Sick.
Ooh.
Are you gonna smite?
Woo! Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay.
use my last
Yes,
spell
you
slot.
are.
So just a reminder, just give me all your regular damage and then the maximum possible number on the dice is how our crits work. Alternatively, you can just tell me what you're rolling and I will calculate your crit damage for you.
Alright, so it's... I always blank on what smite damage is again. I know I have a D8 +4 as regular like hammer damage.
Yeah, what spell slot are you using?
It's first. I only have...
Okay, so it's a
first.
2d8 in addition. You can find it on your sheet as Divine Smite and then just click it if you want, but if you want to roll real dice, that's fine.
Where is... Yeah, I want to get used to this. So it's dealing an extra 2d8.
Correct.
Okay. I need to read it. So that's a 7 and a 1.
Okay.
So that's
It's
8.
8
And then I have
radiant,
I have another D8 for
Your
the
weapon?
regular
Hammer
hammer damage +4. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 3 + 4, 7.
This creature is not an undead or a fiend, so yeah.
No.
3 + 4 is 7, + 8 is 15, + 24 is 39 damage. This creature is severely wounded. As your hammer sunders into it, you see the different parts of the creature sort of rupture and shatter and crack. And this bright sort of vibrant light from your Divine Smite sort of almost shines out of it almost. As if you stuck your hammer in its orifice and had it shine bright, and then suddenly the hammer's back in your hands. Not that sort of orifice, in the cracks that it's made in the stone, alright? This creature doesn't have that kind of orifice. But it shines out of like the different cracks in the stone. I don't think you deserve anything else, but anything else?
I don't have anything to do with my bonus action.
Good.
Actually, wait. If I deal damage to a creature with Divine Smite, I can use a Channel Divinity to distribute temporary hit points to creatures of my choice within 30 feet.
Equal to the damage, or a separate roll?
No, it's 2d8 + 3.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Chosen among the creatures, however, like. So 2d8.
These are temp HP.
Yes.
Yeah, temp HP. So I
That's
have
not
9 hit points to distribute between people.
It might be good to give them to our local NPCs who are very squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Durnick and Kiara. Although, to be honest, the Roper's going to be able to chew through them in one hit.
Oh wait, sorry, it was 2d8 + 3, so it's 12.
Okay.
Total.
These are 6 and 6.
What are you thinking? What would Belgren do? Who would Belgren protect with that?
WWBD.
No, that is a very good point. That like if we start going down, then this creature will start turning towards people like Durnick and Kiara,
clearly
so
unthreatening,
boosting
yeah.
kind of us up first. Huh? Sorry?
Yeah, they're clearly unthreatening as well, those two. Durnick and Kiara,
Yeah.
no weapons in hand, lying limply in his arms.
Yeah, I mean, when Hugo, like if your form were to drop, you'd still be at max hit points as like you
Oh yeah.
usually, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm totally fine. Put it on someone else.
Yeah, then I might just give. Actually, wait. Is he within
Ken is
30
on 4
feet?
hit points.
Yeah, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah.
You're within 30 feet of me,
It's a
so I will.
repetitive behavior.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll pump all 12 hit points into Esther Kenton as like some of the like
Fantastic.
little spectrals of light that are falling down from the creature will immediately like make a turn straight towards Hugo, or sorry, towards Kenzidin,
Yep.
and give him that little extra healing. That usually
Okay.
like the same thing they kind of see on like the lay on hands.
Ken,
Nice.
that's 12 temp HP, and you, Finn, it's your turn. Or Josh, it's Finn's turn.
Yeah, he's gonna fire off another magic missile if you
Nice.
could
Give me a 3d4
take
plus
it
5.
off.
I've done it on the sheet.
Cool.
Demonstrating the power of magic missile as well, because you're not going to miss.
Yeah.
That is 10 fast damage
Nice.
again.
The creature's on the brink of death, but not yet dead. What's Kenton doing?
Finish it, Ken.
Yeah, I'm a little preoccupado over here, so instead of me, I'm just gonna bring that my alternative Echo over there, and then he's gonna swing his big grand sword
Yeah,
down.
6 foot
upon
plus your
him.
claymore, you can get it sort of up into him.
I'm
Right, just
stabbing
casting
straight up at him.
Beautiful. Roll the hit. Add the +2.
Conan style.
As I don't know if this hits. It's a natural 20 for a 27 plus 2 for
Oh, that'll do it.
29.
Please describe its grisly demise.
Nice.
All right, I've been cooking this for a week. All right,
The roper?
so
It's being cooked for a week.
I don't know if the meat's good on this thing.
I don't
but
I
we'll
don't think
see.
we brought enough preservatives.
Actually, I can't even do this. We'll save it for later. I'm just gonna stab up.
Yeah, okay. As the flames
Right
along
into
your
it.
blades sort of sunder on into the cracks that Belgon had already created with the hammer, you just see them sort of lick into the creature. Its eyes begin to sort of literally burn from the inside outwards, and as you sort of very slowly, the creature just rolls off of the ceiling, and it sort of comes unstuck and just falls down to the ground. Those who were restrained, the restraints go loose on its way down, and they're able to gather their feet back to the ground. And as you stand victorious upon the battlefield, good job.
That smite crit
as-
was insane.
As Kensidon hits the floor limp, he's gonna just kind of look over at everybody, just go, "Deliverance."
That is 180 experience points each.
Nice.
Dernick sort of just rolls over and, I told you the ceiling was moving.
I should have
Bed.
listened. Before anyone else settles in, I'm actually going to do like a 60 to 80 foot search of the ceiling real quick with a torch.
Start poking at rocks.
Yeah, just
Give me a perception check as you move around. You
Oh,
can
dear
you can
God.
roll with advantage. I'm assuming that somebody is coming with you.
Yeah, I'll
someone
help.
for the love of
Yeah.
God.
Roll with advantage.
With advantage, I already rolled really good, but with advantage, it is a 19.
Yeah. So you go around sort of. Do me a favor and put your token where you, because you have explorers mode on. So I'll be able to
Yeah,
see
okay.
where you've gone.
He's
If you
just going to do like this archway around.
Oh, okay. So when you get to there, right there,
Oh,
that spot right there, peering through that gap, you see a very dark area at the very back of the cave. So this is directly to your north up here.
do you see that?
And you would know that creatures, it looks sort of like creatures might be lurking deeper in there. And you very quickly think, nope, that is not a good place to be. Let's not tempt those. And you would know to go back down here.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Yep, just
In the
take a
area
quick
that you
peek to the
cover, 100% there are no creatures. But definitely take your rest right close to the door. They didn't
Mhm.
like creatures that like the darkness. You saw a little bit like a centipede, really, but a long tentacled tendril with little furry parts all the way down it moved very slowly, idling towards you as you wandered in there, and you thought, no, this is not a good place or fight to have. So yeah, you guys gather close, perhaps ensure that you are posting guards looking that way and that way, but you may take your experience, and yeah, it's about 8:30 in the evening, so you can press the long rest button, but if there is anything you want to be doing on a long rest, whether painting a picture or having a chat, now's the time.
I will make arrows.
James, if I just cut this thing down and look at its stomach, does it digested anything?
It was already on the
valuable?
ground. It definitely hasn't digested anything valuable, though you do find 2 legs and 1 arm. Where the rest of that creature is, you've no idea, but nothing else of interest. It also does not look edible in any fashion whatsoever.
James, can you long rest Finn, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
I would like to begin work, not make it in one night, but start the work process of making an improved crossbow.
Okay. Is that
I
something
don't
you
know
can just
what
do
I'm
as
doing,
a character?
but I'll help.
They cost double the amount of a normal crossbow and take a week to make. I can make them.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that you would have purchased the materials in advance for this. So you definitely bear with me a second. You gave me a cost there.
Yes, let me look it up real quick.
No, it's alright, I got it. I think that's probably 50. Is this a hand or a?
This is a hand.
Okay. I think that's probably.
Oh wait, it might specify that it has to be a certain type of crossbow.
I would assume it's normally a light crossbow.
Light and heavy, it cannot be a hand, so yes.
Yeah, so 50 gold for a light crossbow. I'm going to take that off your sheet to purchase the parts. You can then, yeah, you can definitely start work on that. Are you doing anything specific in that work that is of interest, or are you just sort of building a crossbow?
Kind of looks like a Nerf gun, but a crossbow, but that's the only thing that's unique about it. It's just got like a revolving cylinder in the middle that's huge.
Cool.
Kimball,
A Gatling crossbow.
this looks so cool. Mind you, I ask you to maybe work on something else sometime in the near future.
Sure. Anything.
I've seen you work with leather, so I know that you're semi-decent with it. I need a new... well, I have my old sword, and I have all that, but it's not good enough, so I need a new scabbard for my sword.
See what I can make, yeah.
For deliverance.
You would know that to do the work justice, you might want him to do that not in the Untamed Lands, where he's
In a
got
town.
proper tanning kit, proper tanned leather, proper place to weave and tailor. Beyond that.
Yeah, when we get back to Red Keep after this mission, or if we happen to stumble across the proper supplies, which might not happen, but if it does, I'll make it for you.
Sweet.
That goes for everyone else in the cave too.
Yeah.
Belgrin, Hugo,
What do you?
you too, Jexera.
Gotta get a holster for that hammer since you're throwing it around like a.
I think
Pull it out
Belgrade
like a
probably
gun.
already has a proper holster. Holster? That's not the right word.
I know. I said because she's throwing it around.
Oh, I
so
see,
much
okay,
it's
yeah.
like a
Oh, yeah.
projectile.
But as
Get
the
a
rest of
little
you,
leather strap.
as the rest of you think about what you're going to do on your long rest, we will be right back.
Bye.
Welcome back to the second half of Mercenary Tales. As we left off, you were just getting settled in for a long rest in the mouth of this cave. What doest you now?
Jexera wants to find a moment while everyone's like settling in. She's gonna go over and sit next to Hugo, and she's just gonna kind of sit with her back up against the wall next to him, and kind of lean down, and she's gonna say, Hugo, I have a question.
I have answers.
Do you remember when we were on the road at the old horseshoe with Marnie, the innkeeper, and the girl with the fiery hands, Claire? Do you remember that?
I'm sure he does, but I don't.
That's okay.
You don't remember Kimball's Riz?
He rizzes everyone. It's hard to keep track of them all.
So when we were on the road,
Wait, is that the girl? Is that the girl that burnt down
The
that
wild magic
village and then
sorcerer.
ran away?
Yeah, the wild
Thought
magic
she
sorcerer,
did,
yes.
but did not.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, we actually don't know if she did or not. To be fair, she
I think
definitely
we know.
could have.
I think we know.
Anyway, yeah,
It's kind of like an OJ situation where we know, but we don't know.
You can't say
Yeah.
that when the
Glove
situation
doesn't
involved
fit.
gloves, man. It's fucked up. You can't say that.
Does her gloves don't fit either? That's the
Must
defense.
quit.
The Chewbacca defense.
back to the point.
Anyway, Jex asks, she says, when we were on the road, Kimball and Kinsidin were talking, and I heard Kinsidin say that Kimball was doing the flirting. I do not know what this is. Can you tell me what this is?
I can and I will, but can I ask you a question?
Before you answer my question, that's quite rude.
Yeah.
All right.
Why are you asking me and not Kimball what he meant?
Talking to Kimball is like talking to wall of sand. You just get lots of stinging in your mouth, and you accomplish very little, no matter how much you shout.
I see. Is that why you only communicate through pointed looks at each other?
I think that it's safest not to talk to Kimball because inevitably he will make mistake and he will probably be dead before we go back to town.
Okay, that's good to know.
Is this flirting? Is that what it means?
I don't know what you two do. I'm not sure what you describe it as. But flirting is basically when a person likes another person. There's different ways of doing it. You could compliment the person. That could be a way of flirting. So basically showing interest that you want to romance them. Some people flirt by being mean and teasing other people. But I don't think that always counts if the person doesn't realize what flirting is.
So what you say is if I think a person is good, I compliment them and try to do what?
If you want a romantic relationship with someone, then it's a good idea to be complimentary to them. It's when a daddy and a daddy, or a mummy and a mummy, or a mummy and a daddy like each other very much, they stay together. That's a romance.
Oh. So I must be very careful not to do this with anyone.
Oh yes, yes, definitely. I mean, there's different types of relationships out there. You don't have to just have one of each. You could have 3 in one, perhaps. I've heard people call that a throuple. It's really up to you and the people involved.
Taking mental notes, like all of these terms that you're introducing, all of these concepts are like, it's like you're teaching a child that is just absorbing all of this.
Have you ever wanted to have a romantic relationship with someone?
No.
You know, with like the holding of the hands and the kissing and the bareback.
The what? Is that when you get on
okay,
camel?
that might have been one step too quick. Have you ever wanted to hold someone's hand in a loving way?
We are trained how to hold hands to force people to their knees, and how to hold hands to
No. In a loving way, to show your closeness with someone.
I mean, with your father and mother, of course.
Yeah, so did you ever see your mum and dad hold each other's hands or kiss each other?
So as soon as you mention her mom and dad, she like gets that clouding over, like her face kind of goes blank again. And she's
having a flashback.
I knew my parents. I know who they are,
Uh-huh.
but I did not. I was chosen to do something different apart from them. Separate.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you've seen other people kiss each other, right?
She just looks at you blankly.
Uh,
I know
you,
what
I
it
mean,
is. It's when you press your faces together.
Yeah, so have you ever wanted to do that with someone?
Why?
You know, there's a thing called asexual. I think that might fit here.
I see.
Is someone
It's
who
another-
doesn't have
She's-
any romantic interest in anyone. That could be you.
Well, it is not permitted. What I want is of no consequence. It is simply
Well,
permitted.
well, if we take away what's permitted and what's not, would you want to kiss someone?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Well, think about it.
This is a very large amount of new things
Uh-huh.
that I need to think about.
Yeah.
How do I know if someone else is doing the flirtings?
So that's kind of tricky. Like I said before, there's different ways people flirt, and so sometimes it's not very obvious. Like, a lot of the time, like, kids, because they don't know how to express their emotions correctly, they'll, like, push each other and tease each other, and that's because they really like them. Sometimes adults do that, so that can be tricky. I think a good way of knowing if someone likes you is that if they're talking to you, if they're looking at your lips, that means that they want to kiss you. So look out for that.
So if Belgren looks at my lips when we talk, then they want the romances.
Yeah, he'd want to bend you over the campfire. Yeah.
I do not understand. I thought kissing was face and face.
Yeah, but then that
Just-
leads to other things. But that's a class for another cave, another evening, another bonfire, campfire. I think you should just. I think it's a lot of information. I think maybe just for the moment, your homework is to think if you'd want to put your face with another person's face.
And if I want to burn them in fire.
Yeah, and then we can also discuss what to do then.
Oh. I have many modes that I could force people into fire, but it seems very painful. I do not think that most
Yeah,
people
it's painful for the first couple of minutes, but then you get used to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wetlander
Yeah.
customs. Perhaps you are so wet with water all the time that you can get in fire. Where I come from, you cannot.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But I think you've got enough to think about now. I think I don't want to overload you with too many things, with too many innuendos.
She nods as if she knows what that means.
Yeah.
I see.
Very
Well,
that.
Thank you for speaking with me, Hugo. She's watching your eyes. You can tell she's like trying to check if you're watching her lips as she's talking to you. Thank you, Hugo.
Yeah. You're welcome. My eyes do not leave your eyes.
She like nods to herself as if that's confirmation, and then she
Wonderful.
heads over to her own side.
I look at Kenton and Belgren. I'm like, we're in like a 20-foot by 20-foot cave. What are they fucking talking about?
It's echoing off the wall.
That was a very confusing discussion.
The only reason that you didn't hear absolutely every word was the volume of Dernick's snoring in the corner.
Mhm.
I heard
We caught
something
every
about
3
bending
seconds.
somebody over a campfire.
Yeah, you just assume he's talking about burning the roper. Like the words aren't coming through clearly. Dernick's very noisy.
Why are we looking at lips?
Are we?
Yeah, that's the only part I caught.
Yeah, are we keeping a watch tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will
Makes
take
sense.
first watch.
Great. Yeah, as you keep watch over the night, the rain does clear.
Oh, well, look at that. Your blessing from the gods is ended, Jax.
Wake her up to tell her that.
No.
No.
Scare her with it in the morning.
Um,
The gods hate us.
But you may all hit the long rest button, as I said. And the following morning, as the sun rises over the mountains, it's quite a beautiful sight. What are you guys doing?
Oh, I'll ask Kiara to keep my painting with the other one. Keep it safe.
All right, team. Keep moving forward.
Yes.
Let's go.
As you look up over the mountains, this is sort of the view you're on right now. The path through the mountains leads downwards for a while. Breakfasting, I'm assuming, as you're looking down over the mountains?
Is it still raining?
No, the rain stopped at about 4 a.m. There is, however, heavy mists moving up through the mountains as a result of the previous rain going to an end, all that moisture rising back up through the air. So yeah, there's heavy mists down below, but there is no more rain.
Hugo, I cannot see. Can you turn? Can you make these mists, these water droplets go away, like you did in the tower?
I didn't make them go away. I brought them here. I brought them there.
Incorporated them again.
Did I?
Oh,
When
Cloud,
did I do that?
you would have ended the spell eventually.
Oh yeah, that. No. No, I can't. / I don't want to.
And these are below you. They're not at your height.
Eggs on toast with cheese.
Eggs on toast? Love that. Oh, and
Fried, scrambled,
Yummy.
poached.
Scrambled.
Lovely.
And give me a cooking check. That's the scrambled egg and cheese on toast. Obviously, if you did have any
18.
remaining exhaustion cards, you may lose them here in this long rest. You can all add 4 to your max HP as well. Put a 4 in your maximum hit points modifier. It's the best scrambled egg and cheese you've had in the Untamed Lands.
Nice.
Whoa.
A low bar.
James, could you put that on Finn, please?
As you continue your wandering down the hill, you see one sort of smaller hill a little below, with a single tree standing huge, ancient, beneath the sun as it breaks through the clouds. It's unnaturally old and beautiful, and the sun catches it at a very specific angle. Those of you who have any sort of connection with nature at all cannot help but be sort of transfixed a little bit by this. It's too old, it has a presence to it, I would say.
How tall is this thing?
About 35-40 feet.
Yeah. We do not have these kinds of plants where I'm from.
Not where I'm from either.
This would be a fairly... You might have seen sort of big or old trees in the forests near home, but not to this extent. It was something quite astounding.
I think there's
If
a big
only we
bird
were
nest in
level
it.
5,
Oh.
then I could speak to it.
Hey, who knows? We might get in enough fights to be that level when we come back.
Is there anything moving about in the tree itself?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, it's a natural 20 for 24.
You see, just to the side of the tree, a single stave driven into the ground. Hanging from a branch above, something swings in the wind gently. There are no creatures nearby, and no birds sit on the branches of this tree, but there's definitely something swinging from one of the branches. An object, not a creature.
Okay, I'll point it out to the group. I want to go check it out after I point it out to them.
Okay. As you move closer, you see that there is just a simple wooden stave driven into the ground. Hanging from the branch, sort of at a fairly low level, is an amulet, a leather thong.
you say a leather thong?
Yes, a thong in this instance is a long piece of thin leather that would, I mean, literally the piece of leather that's coming out of the image that I've just pinged towards me.
Oh, sorry.
Is this is someone dead here? A grave?
Yeah, does the symbolism like jog anyone's memory?
Doesn't
Is the
look like
ground
any sort of
disturbed
grave or
at the
anything.
base?
No, it is just very simply driven into the ground. As you look at the staff, you do see little markings on it. It's definitely just an old walker's staff. But the amulet seems to glisten with some sort of magic. And as I said, the presence of the tree is sort of almost overbearing. As it's incredibly old. And Jex, already you're sort of wanting to walk away and leave it undisturbed.
Might have belonged to someone who was familiar with the tree or something. A druid, maybe?
I do not know. I think perhaps we should leave this place of peace undisturbed. It is the only place of peace we have found.
Gosh, go on.
Could I walk, like, could I get up close to the giant tree trunk?
Yep.
And, like, place my hand on it and wish that I was speak with plants. But like, do I get the feeling that this is like an ancient tree?
Yeah. It's clearly been here from time long before Malachi ever took over these lands. And there's an element of goodness, as if the corruption in the world couldn't touch it. And as you sort of reflect on that, whilst everybody else sort of wants to move away a little bit, as if almost like they don't belong in this circle, in this aura, in this place. Sorry, that's making a noise in my ear. Can you just hold those thoughts for a second, Oscar? I don't think it's going to be relevant right now. Sorry, as you put your hand on the trunk, everybody else sort of gets the feeling that they don't want to be too close. It's too old. It's too natural. Too wild. But you, however, sort of want to get closer almost. You can almost hear the whispers of the wind rustling through the trees as if they were making out words. But you know that even if you could commune with this tree, it would take you many years to glean only the fewest of words. Your eyes are drawn up to the amulet hanging from the lower branches, and the stave driven into the ground beneath it. You know that a druid has passed by here before. Perhaps this is their mark or their way of leaving something.
Yeah, I mean, if I notice everyone else fidgeting, and like wanting to like stay, I'll quickly head over to the staff and the amulet. You said that the staff was
It's
just
a
like
plain
a walking
wooden
stick.
stave, but as you sort of get close, you realize something's occurred here. And Jex was kind of correct. You would believe that some sort of druid, probably a fairly powerful one, has come to their end here, perhaps by choice, and potentially molded the earth above them, having placed a stave through it.
Oh my god, they buried themselves alive?
No, you would know that he was sort of coming to his last moments and would have... A powerful druid could have enacted that to take place in a much slower process.
I see. Seems kind of rude to just grave rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been left there for a reason. As it sways in the wind, you know that it's been left for perhaps somebody else who could take up that mantle. There is no leaving. There is no reason for him to leave it otherwise.
No,
he would have just been buried with it. Also, I just wouldn't leave this behind.
Yeah, and I think I'll leave the staff there as a way of remembering the druid was there, but I'll take the amulet off of it.
Yeah, it feels natural in your hand. It's sort of almost slightly warm, as if the sunlight has baked it, and there is no trace of any moisture on it, despite it being in the rain for many days. The wood is stronger than any wood that you would perhaps have believed in believed could exist. It feels almost like iron to it. And as you run your finger over the amulet, you once again drawn to the trunk of this branch and realize that perhaps the wood is one and the same. It was perhaps shaped
Ooh.
from this very ancient tree.
Hmm.
And at this point, I'll take a charisma save.
As you get possessed by the tree. Is this against being frightened?
No.
Okay. That is a 15.
Yeah, you feel this sort of unerring urge to place the amulet around your neck. And as you do so,
I will do.
it adjusts in size immediately. The medallion gets ever so slightly smaller. The leather sort of fits more closely and snugly around your neck,
Mhm.
and you can feel it almost sort of working its magic through you. No surprises. This is going to be quite useful for you.
Cursed.
Whilst wearing this amulet, it will change size with you and remain around your neck should you shape change. You'll have a +1 to bonus spell attacks and spell rolls and spell save DC as with anyone else. But when you wild shape, you gain temporary hit points equal to your druid level, provided you don't already have more 10 HP. You can change it to creatures 1 CR above what you would normally be able to. Advantage on any skill checks you make to discern the nature, disposition, and general feelings of the beast or animal. You'll also be resistant to poison, immune to disease whilst wearing the amulet. Healing you receive whilst wild shaped into a creature of CR1 or above rolls the maximum possible number of dice. That sounds like a huge lot of things, but most of those are incredibly situational. TLDR, you can turn into a creature 1 level higher and you've got a +1 to spell attacks. Go.
Yay.
I mean, one CR level higher is no joke.
That's big. Yeah,
No, it's,
that part
it's
is big.
Huge, yeah.
I mean, CRs are a really big difference for a whole CR.
Yeah.
Also,
I've
always
already
rolling
got
the
the art
maximum.
prepared.
That, well,
The number.
it sounds good, but if you are healing a wild-shaped beast in combat, their HP totals are so much larger than humans that it really is like trying to heal a sponge, which is why I've
Is there a thing where wild shaped druids can burn spell slots to heal themselves while wild shaped?
I believe it gives temp HP. I don't think it actually heals them. It might be restore them. Let's have a look.
I thought that there was so that they would have a use for their spell slots while they were wild shaped.
Yeah.
I know you can like maintain concentration on a spell while wild shaped, like something that like is a concentration spell. But I thought that there was a thing that you can like just heal.
Oh, there
yourself
definitely is.
straight up.
But it's a 1d8 per spell slot expended, so it's a pretty inefficient heal, but you can do it.
Wow.
Even at max level, 24 hit points for a 3rd level spell slot is not a great exchange. But if you are wild shaped all the time, those would roll at max too.
Oh, very cool.
Actually, I'm not sure they would. It says, when you receive any healing you receive, so yes, it would. Cool. As you sort of clutch this amulet and gently, the clouds sort of move on over the tree, and the sunlight moves away from the tree. You sense a feeling of slight, almost like acceptance, Hugo. But when you look around, you notice that your party have drifted further and further away from the tree. It is uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, I'll go and catch up with them. With the amulet around my neck.
Cool. Return you to the Rocky Mountain Pass. And as you are headed up this mountainside, the path cuts away through the edge of a sort of forested area. There are no large forests near where you guys grew up, although you will have been through sort of more woodland glades. But there is a large forest near where Hugo and Kenston grew up, so you two would be a bit more acclimatized to this. However, as you sort of step in, it is almost dark inside. I think this is the right image, but sorry if it isn't. This should be a forest. It is a forest, kind of. It's kind of, yeah. You will note that there is an element of decay going on in here. Whilst this was once obviously a thick and vibrant and beautiful forest, there is now a small element of things just not quite being right. The water that trickles through the stream does so in a sort of choked and uncomfortable fashion. Moss grows from the trees in a way that smothers them, not enhances their growth. And as the light filters through the trees, it is slightly dim, difficult to make things out clearly in the distance.
Do we still have is there still a path, or does it?
There's still an assigned trail, but it quickly breaks down into little bits of game trail. It's difficult to follow. It's difficult to know exactly whether you're walking the right path. Go ahead and give me a survival check. Let's see how straight a path you can lead the party on.
All right.
Sorry,
Not very straight. Do I get guidance for this?
No, I think this is sort of a continued thing. So unless he's literally walking around with his hand on your shoulder, which he probably isn't. He's probably investigating his new amulet. 8. Yeah, there's no way you can keep a straight path. You have to go find a place to ford the trickling stream. You don't want to walk through that particular boggy area. Then thick, dense bracken blocks your way another time. And all of you begin to feel a bit more like you're walking a strange S-like pattern. And
I will just...
Go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to quickly say, as we're making our way very badly around here, that I can't be lost.
No.
Unless by magical means. So
both you and Jex
would
both find it very easy to go back to where you came from. But you can't really... It's not really a case of being lost. It's just a case of you don't really know where you're trying to get to.
Sure.
You can... both you and Jex are capable of winding in a way that keeps you going west. But all of you have lost the path pretty quickly.
And I think that Jex is just really unfamiliar with this type of terrain. This kind of wet, boggy, swampy forest is not something she's comfortable in, and so I think she's picking her way more carefully and getting herself a little more confused than she would in a mountain or a desert area.
Yeah, I can agree with that. As you continue on through these areas, it's difficult going. It feels a little muggy in the air. The moisture is still all over the ground. Each step comes with a little sort of squelch or another moment to sort of struggle to get through, one particular area, or to break through the bracken, and it just continues like that constantly. Go on.
Are there any animals nearby?
You note a couple of birds up in the trees, but they don't look very
friendly,
natural.
Okay.
One particular dark black bird's eyes follow you way too closely to be a natural creature.
It won't be beasts.
And
right?
A second bird that you look at sort of has maggots and carrion on one side of its hip as it looks at you. You do notice a single squirrel sort of dancing from tree to tree, almost looking like it's trying to flee from the entire place, as if it senses the wrongness of this area.
Well, he's probably a normal beast.
Yes, you would know he's definitely a beast.
Okay, cool. I'll cast.
Lost it.
I'll cast Speak with Animals. And I will just shout out, "Hey, Mr. Squirrel!"
He's sort of in a panic. He's moving from one place to another and one place to another, and finally sort of catching on your voice, he sort of looks at you and then judges that perhaps you are safety in some way or other, and will start rushing towards you.
Is anything coming after him?
No, you get the impression that he's trying to flee the very forest itself. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Sorry, I finally found the track I was trying to find all that time. Cool. What are you doing, Josh? The squirrel bounds towards you.
Cool, yeah. I'll crouch down and I say, "Hello, what's your name?"
You are using Speak with Animals, or?
Yeah.
Casting?
I casted it.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I did.
Name. Don't really. We don't really use names. I was the sixth of the litter.
Okay, I'll call you 6.
Okay. Safety. Oh, get out. Go out. The whispers. Too many whispers. Want to go. Want to leave.
What whispers?
Whispers. You don't
I
hear them all the time.
anything.
All the time. Forest is whispering. And
The
at that
forest
moment-
is whispering.
At that moment, as you sort of settle in silence and try and strain to listen, all of you begin to hear this slight sort of gentle whispering on the wind. You can't make out a word of what it's saying, and even if you could, you're not sure it's speaking a language you speak. But it does sound like the wind itself is whispering to you, trying to draw you closer in, further into this forest.
Do you know where it's
It's all
originating
around us,
from?
all around us. Can't get out. Wherever I go, always the same. Can't get out, can't get out. Get out, lost my nuts. Can't get no dinner, very hungry. I can't find home. Brother's gone.
Oh no. I'll
All the brothers are gone. They're all gone.
Are there any? I suppose there wouldn't be any like edible berries around, would there? Really?
If there was food to be foraged, the squirrel would have found it quicker than you did.
Yeah. I was just checking my inventory, and I just don't have anything like
You
that.
guys are carrying
I
some
have
dried rations, so if you did want to feed them dried
Acid
meat,
berries.
don't feed them acid berries. You have some
No,
dry,
my
you
God.
have some dry
berries.
cured meat. Otherwise, you'd have to ask.
Squirrels
Kenton
don't
to
eat
rest-
meat, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Worms.
I mean, it's mostly bugs, but like
Bugs,
they eat
Oh,
Essentially,
okay, that's not meat though.
No,
Well,
but a
squirrels
dried ration
also-
it would definitely eat. You can feed a squirrel bacon.
I can confirm squirrels will eat very small rodents.
Yeah,
That's
that too.
disturbing. That's really
And bacon.
disturbing.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm not feeding the squirrel bacon.
Right, Jeff,
You
go ahead,
might
yeah,
not
but you've
be.
got dry cured meat. If you want to,
No, that's fine. We can keep you. I can keep you safe.
how? You don't go very high. You don't have the right legs for climbing and no tail to balance.
No, but you can stay in my bag.
Is it warm?
It is.
He sort of reaches forward and nuzzles in it, and that's a bit. Smells like people. I don't like people much. I just want to go home. I'm lost. I don't want to be here anymore.
Hugo,
Well-
Hugo, Albert is very hungry. Perhaps you can talk Squirrel a little closer to me. I think I can get him from here.
Trying to feed the squirrel to the owlbear. Harsh, but fair.
Baby's gotta eat.
No,
So, but you
no.
hunting.
That owlbear is your responsibility. I am not feeding it. This poor innocent squirrel who's fighting for his life. I know it just
Well-
sounds like squeaks to you, but to me,
All prey is prey, and all prey is probably fearful before death. This is not nature's way.
he is very much alive. Thank you, and he is not
Yes, but
near
he might
death.
not- It doesn't have to be for long.
Well, maybe we could just fill the owlbear. You don't have to be alive for long.
We probably could, but I will fight back more than Squirrel.
Oh, that's fine. I'll transform into my centipede and just paralyze you. That's all good.
All right, ladies, hold on.
The squirrel is getting a little twitchy, and you know that it is gonna run off unless you continue to talk to it.
No, there is no safe place here. But if you say with us, when we go back over the border, I can let you free into a more natural.
I don't know what
Environment.
border is.
It's just it's a safe place. This place isn't natural, but I can take you to a place that's natural.
I was in a normal forest, and then I wasn't. I don't know the brothers. The older brothers are gone. I don't want. I don't like the. Have a strange creature with you, and he sort of took the other, and that smells funny. I just. Can you point me in a safe direction? Maybe the way you came.
That way.
I can, but I don't know if you'll survive. What scent would you like?
Real trees, not like this. Real trees.
Real trees.
You sure it's safe with you?
It's very safe with me.
And what's
and
that?
then
And he
I'll
nods towards the owlbear.
That's a problem that I'm sure will be rid of soon enough. But I won't let
I
it.
can understand this word.
Yeah, you just hear squeaking.
Mhm.
Yeah, I won't let any harm come to you. And if you want a little bit more of a natural smell, I'll dig in my bed and I'll take out the whatever it is that's keeping the pressed red flower like together, and I'll sprinkle the petals in the bag so it has a more of a natural
Okay.
smell in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I get that. Sort of. Okay. But I don't want to stay in the dark, so sometimes I come out and I'll have a look around with you.
That's absolutely fine.
He sort of runs down your shoulder and stands in the bag and sort of taps his foot in it a few times and sort of moves about and shuffles a little bit, trying to make the right sort of space, and taps his foot a few more times and finally sort of just dives head first into your bag. His head pops up and warm. It is warm. It is warm. And I can't see the scary things, but I can still hear the whispers. Still hear the whispers. We should leave soon. Not safe even for you.
Okay, well, we'll keep going. And then as I close the bag, but like I'll leave a little like gap in the side of the bag. For
His
him to
head
poke
regularly
his head
pops out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
I'll
meerkat.
close it and I just give Jex a dirty look.
What
Sure.
we, Kimball and I hunted stoats for the party. We shot them, and you ate them with us. What is the difference here? I do not understand.
The difference is A, I wasn't there when you killed those animals, so for all I know, they died of natural causes. And second of all, this girl is in need of our help, and we should be helping it. I mean, you
To be
didn't
fair,
kill the owl cub and eat it.
Hugo did not have a long conversation with the animals you killed for dinner.
Yeah.
Does tend to lend one a certain sense of empathy.
Well, normally I would say that your ability to speak with the animals would be very useful on a hunt. You could just talk them over to us and make it very easy. But
Yeah, if I was a monster.
okay, well, just Kimball and myself then, I suppose. From now on. And she slogs on through the mud.
Hey, listen, I get it. Talking to Squeaks makes a more personal connection. See a dead body, it's but you see one you've talked to before, it makes it a little more complicated.
Exactly. You get it, Kimball.
It's still just a squirrel, though. I'd kill it or the owlbear either way. I don't really care.
Well, I think one of them's more useful than the other, and I'll nod towards the orb.
As you continue through this, each of you begins to feel a cold chill in the air. The mists are sort of rising up to knee height now. It feels uncomfortable. Belgren, I will ask you a question. I will. You go ahead,
Okay.
but I will ask you a question first. As you sort of feel this chill in the air, you do recognize the feeling of that fateful night where you had a long chat with a ghost.
Yeah, actually, that was leading into what I was going to do. I was going to ask to pop a divine sense.
Straight away, you see spirits everywhere, really. Ghosts that have not been laid to rest. There are dozens of them in different directions. They don't seem to be fully corporeal. Well, no, corporeal isn't the right word because they're completely incorporeal, but they don't seem to be fully realized, even with your
It's
divine
not like
sense.
a
They're
full
not.
body.
Yeah, it's not a fully formed
100%.
being. It's like just slight. Give me a religion check with advantage.
Oh,
Something
a
to
what
do-
check?
Religion with advantage.
Religion.
You can glean a little more information.
16.
Yeah, these are like echoes of spirits. They've long since lost any sense of personality or existence. They wouldn't remember who or what they were in life, and are unlikely to be able to affect you in any way, other than being a bit creepy. But you do notice a slightly more concentrated group of them over to one side, and then your eyes catch upon a tomb covered in moss. The engravings outside and the markings around it are clearly in Draconic, and a beautifully etched golden dragon in colour, not in real gold, before somebody tries to pull it off the brick, is on one side of the tomb. And on the other side, etched in beautiful Draconic writing, Some words you probably can't read, but the final part is definitely a name.
Thin nose draconic.
Yes, he has learnt a few small words, just a reminder of how our languages work. He would have some understanding of the behavior of dragons, and indeed of some of the noises, sounds, and the way they might communicate. But he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
speak
wanted
it
to know if
fluently.
he could recognize some of the
Well,
words.
enough
Hugo.
to... Sorry, just to finish the sentence. Just enough to know that it would say, sort of, here lies, and then the name. Carry on.
You think this has to do with that scale in your pocket?
Ooh.
Can you remember the name?
I do, because I've got it. I wrote it down. Where is it? It is Axtralath.
As you take this in hand, you just hear... Axtralath?
Yeah.
Axtralath. Axtralath?
Is that coming from the scale or the tomb?
The scale.
The scale.
As you look
Okay,
at the
then
name
I'll-
on the tomb, it is clearly not Axtralath. One thing, if it's two words. With the other, you would know it to be far too small for a dragon. Much more likely a dragonborn.
That was what the thought.
Do I know that this scale is not of a dragonborn?
Yes,
It's definitely a dragon.
definitely a dragon.
Big.
Okay. Okay.
Grady.
Well, I mean, we could go in and check it out if we wanted to. I could do a little tomb raiding.
I think we should.
I'll check it for traps first, though.
You cannot trap an open entrance.
Well,
Well,
Pressure
you'd
plates.
be surprised.
Yeah, as you run your fingers along the wall to check for any sign of anything unusual, you will feel a slight whisper of the old and ancient. As dust falls away, you know that this tomb is well made, well wrought, and goes deep. Oh, hold on. Have I not put dynamic light? I have, okay, thank God. So you guys can't see anything at all, right?
mm-mm.
Great, go ahead and put yourselves right here.
Oh, wow.
Hello,
Um,
darkness, my old friend.
DM, can you place me? My ancient laptop is about ready to melt down with trying to keep up with the graphics.
Yeah, wait a second. Belgrim, would you activate the light?
Hmm?
Some creatures are blind.
sorry,
Would you
yes.
activate your light? Right.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let's
No,
do that for
I like to think that it comes out of Belgrim's beard.
Whee!
Yeah. He just
the
pulls
weapon,
his beard
but sure.
to, like, to the side.
There's just a light bulb underneath the beard.
I put you down. I went and got everybody. Yeah, as you guys sort of move in here, you see that various bits of these walls are well-worked stone. The workmanship is expert and old, older than anything you can imagine. You know that this definitely predates. Don't move forward unless you want to die. This work definitely predates Malachi by quite a long time. You mentioned looking for traps. I'll take an investigation check before you go anywhere. What a great idea that is.
I was just trying to, hey, listen, Belgrin, if you want to swap with me, I was just trying to get ahead of the group so no one stepped on anything.
Yeah.
That being said, investigation check. I feel like my goggles give me something for that.
Oh, they do. I believe they give you advantage on things. To see
They
within a foot of you.
do. 21.
21. You notice a pressure plate. I put it in the GM layer. You're not going to be able to see that. My bad. You notice a pressure plate. Just take one step forward for me. You won't die. It's over there. At the moment, that is the only thing you can quite make out. But you know that it is important that you all watch your footing quite carefully. The corridor extends a long way to both the left and right, and in front of you it opens up into a larger area. You would imagine that perhaps a long time ago, members of the family of the main incumbent of this tomb may have been buried here. But much of the beautifully wrought sort of crypt, if you will, has given way to the cave. It's to sort of nature and more natural caverns at certain points. However, as exploring this tomb is going to take quite a while, and it is not not all that early, I think this is probably a good place to stop.
Okay.
So I will say you sense no creatures in here at all, apart from yourselves and a squirrel and an owlbear. But we will come to the timeless tradition of MVPs. We had a rather excellent recap from Oscar, and so I will start with... Why are you over there? Come back. Have you been over there all night? Anyway, sorry, excellent recap from Oscar. So we'll start with Josh. Well, I went to ask Josh, and we only had half of Josh, and he was shunted to the side. I think maybe we've spent the whole episode with you shunted to the side. Sorry. Your MVP.
I really liked the combat with the tentacly thing.
The roper.
And also quite surprised and proud of our restraint to not explore that cave. We're like, we'll rest here and then we're leaving.
Yeah, you did not want to go deeper into that cave.
No.
I will tell you that. It was like a roper, but a lot higher in CR and a lot bigger.
Yeah.
You
And
dealt
obviously
with
we knew
a
that
little
we would.
roper.
Yeah, and we knew that we would have to do stuff like that. We couldn't just explore everywhere. And we can't justify everything.
Tomb in the woods, though. We're in.
Oh yeah, why not? So yeah,
More mystery.
exactly.
Bumpkin.
I he did say that he was having some Discord
Oh,
issues.
yeah, he
and
is.
he was.
That's true.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
No,
Bumpkin's
I
been
like
upgraded to
this
DM.
accidental saga of just characters having like really cold moments unintentionally. Like first it was Hugo being like, "I'm going after the baby." We're all like, "Hold on a second," and then this session with like, "All right, yeah, I got a solution."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah,
I'll
and
shoot it.
I believe what he then followed up with is, "And I'll draw a gun."
Yeah, I pull out my gun.
Don't think that's what you meant, Miller, but anyway, Miller, your MVP.
Hugo teaching Jaxera about flirting. I think that whole situation between Hugo and Jaxera was brilliant, and I loved listening to
He
it.
seemed oddly an expert on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is.
I like the way that when explaining the first steps of a relationship, you felt compelled to include a description of a throuple in the first 2 sentences.
Because not all relationships are traditional.
Sure, but just you started with that. Confusing. Nathan. Oh, hold on, sorry.
You're very quiet.
You've gone
Gotta
very
turn you
quiet.
back up.
That's all right.
I'm having issues. Sorry.
That's okay. You know.
I liked Hugo describing the painting to Kensidin and going, "Oh, there's a pint of."
And that was that.
Aw.
I think we know what he was
It's just a
going
pint
for.
of beer.
It
A
was
pint of
definitely
beer.
a pool of blood.
Grabs the paintbrush, paints blood underneath me. There's
Look,
blood.
you're dying.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming together.
There's
Wait,
still
you can-
noises. There's still noises coming.
Oh,
We might get him back. No.
you know what? It held out for just long enough.
Oscar. MVP.
I gotta go with the line, which, my god, I just, wow. Talking to Kimball, it's like sand stinging in my mouth.
I believe it actually said, talking to Kimball is like shouting at a wall of sand. You are just simply left with a stinging in the mouth and getting nowhere whilst shouting endlessly or something like that. Very good, yes.
What did I do?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well done.
And as we all randomly shuffle around, I will do this to try and be seen in Bumpkin's picture. Hello, I'm down here. Oh, and then she's taken over as a DM. I'll be Oscar. Anybody who hasn't noticed, Nathan's having connection issues. But we will finally come to mine. I really liked the line sort of near the end of that, after mentioning that Belgrun might bend one over the campfire. You said, but that's a class for another cave and another campfire.
That was
It was really good. It was really poetic. I like that. And I like the idea that really it is about another cave and another campfire. I quite enjoyed the sort of strangeness of the encounter with the tree and the fact that Joshua almost unwilling to take what was clearly an item designed for you. Oscar had no problem pulling a sword out the ground.
Did you make it sound so like sentimental?
It was. It's sentimental. It's been left by an old druid, and now it's yours. But yeah, as you guys sort of enter this tomb, I think this is our first proper bit of dungeon delving. And it's an opportunity for us to experience an entirely different part of D&D that we haven't done yet. We've done lots and lots of different things, and this is yet another new thing that we can do. I hope that you are as wary next session as you are this one. But in the meantime, that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye or utter some strange lagging noises if you can not do anything else.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Or we shall
Be back.
indeed see you soon.